Well, the wife of one of the country's most accomplished medical minds is weighing in on the right to die debate nearly 1 year after losing her husband to brain cancer.
A lot of clinicians have opposition to dying with dignity. I wish they could live in my body for 24 hours, and I think they would change that opinion.
Dr. Donald Lowe released that powerful video appeal just months after being diagnosed with a terminal brainstem tumor. He died 8 days later. Today, his widow spoke in Toronto, hoping her husband's story will help in the fight to strike down Canada's law prohibiting physician-assisted suicide. Over to Tom Hayes with her plea to let patients die with dignity. Tom.
Roger, assisted death is a touchy subject that is now on its way to the Supreme Court. Dr. Lowe's widow is hoping other dying patients won't have to endure what her husband did.
You know, what the end is going to look like, that's what's bothering me the most.
It's a statement that made the medical community stand up and take notice. Dr. Donald Lowe, the man who championed the fight against SARS, was dying, and he wanted to keep his dignity.
I'm still grieving for my husband, and I think I'll do that for the rest of my life.
Dr. Lowe's widow, Maureen Taylor, has taken up his fight. The Canadian Medical Association recently voted to follow their conscience when a patient is dying. For years, we've used the term assisted suicide, and by using the word suicide, we automatically make it a criminal act. That's why Dr. Lowe's widow and the rest of this group prefer the term assisted death. But what about the Hippocratic Oath that reads, doctors will never do harm to anyone? Dr. Brett Belchetz says that oath needs an updated interpretation.
What we are doing by not allowing them a natural death, by not assisting them to actually have a peaceful death, I would actually say we are doing a great deal of harm. We are actually torturing these patients.
Linda Jarrett is one of those patients dying from MS.
My 14-year-old golden retriever had a peaceful and dignified death, surrounded by those who loved her. I can only wish the same kind of death for myself.
Assisted death is legal in Switzerland, and now the Canadian Supreme Court will take a look. October 15th, Dr. Lowe's final message to be considered.
It's drinking a cocktail, and you fall asleep, and you do this in the presence of your family.
Once the Supreme Court strikes down the law, which I think they will, I think I'm going to retire from and just try to remember the Dawn from SARS who was busy running around and so full of life. I want to remember the well Dawn.
Again, the case goes to the Supreme Court in October. Lawyers will argue that there has been a change in public opinion since the Hippocratic Oath was written in the 5th century BC.